Branding. I know it's not just about logos these days. So today I brought on a special guest with me, Allie Craig, and she is an awesome branding expert. So we're going to talk about why you need to brand your business and how to take the next steps to get started with that. Allie, thanks so much for being on the show, and tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. My specialty in branding is called neurohuman branding. So that is the science and psychology behind why someone's going to say yes to your brand. Because the great thing is, in the end, no matter what you sell, you're selling to another human being. But if you don't know how to talk and really sell to the heart of that human being, you're going to fail miserably when it comes to your brand.
So you mean it's not just logos and colors and fonts?
It never was, actually. That's the funny thing. I've been doing this for over 21 years. And so when I started in this industry that we now call branding, people kind of always thought it's my business card, it's my logo, it's my brochure back then in the day. But the truth is that that's never what branding ever was. Branding came about in the late 1800s when the Industrial Revolution started coming in, because we ended up having products and the products weren't selling because they didn't have mom and pop behind them. And so we had to create a human personality for this brand persona to sell the product. And so brand is really about the relationship between your audience and you. And you do that through logos, websites, colors, social media, photography, and all those pieces. But that is not your brand, actually.
You know what? I mean, I'm just listening to that and I'm thinking about it, and it sounds to me like a brand is the identity of the product or service, and the logo and all that kind of stuff. It's like the clothes that you wear. It's the clothes that identity wears, or that product or service. Does that sound like a good analogy?
I always like to say it's like a puzzle. So your brand is like, when you have your brand strategy, that is the box to that puzzle. So you see the big picture, and then all those pieces, your logo, your website, are just pieces to your puzzle that you have to put together to make this bigger brand experience that you're creating. The problem is most people throw away the puzzle just like we did when we were kids. We dump out all the pieces and we throw the box away, and we're clueless on exactly how to actually build what we're really desiring to build with our audience.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, here's your logo, here's your fonts, and here's your colors, but you're missing so many of the other pieces of the puzzle that nobody gets the big picture and nobody understands what it is that you're trying to sell.
Well, and just like when you're building a puzzle, if you don't know what you're actually building towards, like I'm creating a beautiful landscape, two pieces could actually technically fit together, but in the end, completely skew the actual feeling and visual of what this puzzle and in turn your brand really is.
Yeah, so tell us some of the mistakes that you see happening on kind of that surface level of when a new business owner starts creating their brand, some of those common mistakes you see.
Oh, so many. Number one, and it's an easy one to do, is we just only talk to the logistics, because we think people only care about what we're actually offering them, the tangibility of it, a 45-minute session, a sweatshirt, whatever the logistics of the product is. That is not what actually is going to make your audience buy. We've all heard it that we buy on emotion, we don't buy on logic, but the truth is that we're really buying on this idea of the relationship. The reason why I love neurohuman branding so much is because it's always dealing with what really runs us as human beings, which is biology, psychology, subconscious stories, and social stories. We're not logical beings. We are instinctual beings. And far too often when we only focus on logistics, we're talking to the side of the brain that isn't listening. So you have to stop talking about that and truly start talking about the heart and the passion that you have, so that way it can connect with the heart and passion of your audience.
Yeah, and so many of my clients tend to be the creative, but oftentimes, even though they are the creatives, they are less logistical. The easy stuff to kind of address are the logistics. It's sometimes harder to kind of dig into that heart, that you described there.
Well, and when you're creative, there's a struggle because you see it in your own creative vision, but sometimes we have languaging or visuals around it that we like that completely don't relate to our audience. So we'll use words that we're like, yeah, this is so awesome. And your audience is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's always about creating this balance of a win-win relationship, a relationship that you're like, yes, this is exactly what I want to deliver. It's exactly how I like saying it. It gets me excited, but it's also exactly how my audience needs to hear it and receive it at this moment.
So if somebody's actually looking to kind of take those first steps in creating their brand, and they want some help doing this, what are some recommendations that you can make when somebody's looking to outsource that?
So when you're looking for someone who's a brander, buyer so beware. It is such a buzzword nowadays that everybody uses it, and most people don't actually have the skills for it. It's like, just because you're a camera owner doesn't mean you're a professional photographer. And so a lot of people have kind of jumped on the branding train just because it's super buzzy and everyone just, wants to say yes. They just don't know what they don't know. A lot of branders want to give you a lot of things to choose from because they think more is better. That's the worst. I always like to say it's like retail. You can go to Walmart, and what do you expect when you buy at Walmart? You expect inexpensive, quick. You also expect it to be cheap. You don't expect it to really fit well or last long. Or you can go to Neiman Marcus and you expect what? Quality. You expect attention to detail. You expect refinement. So the same holds true when it comes to finding someone who's a quote unquote brander. You have all these different spectrums, just like you do in the retail audience, and you have to kind of know who you're really going after. So do your research beyond the website and beyond their social media. Truly ask for references, call the references. Far too often people don't actually call references, and really see what is this relationship like and what are they going to really deliver for you. Because just a nice person is great, but if these businesses don't actually have tangible transformation to say, my business was X and now I'm Y, then it may not be the right brander for you. I have a reality TV show called Fix My Brand with Ali Craig. And one of the brands that came in, she started at $125,000. That's how much she made the year before coming and working with me for branding. Then after we redid her brand, she made $225,000 just 3 months out from launching her new brand. This year, which is a full year after having her whole brand redone, she'll be making $875,000. And next year, she's projected to make $2.1 million. You need to be able to have those types of results. Even though it's different industries, it shows that the way, the methodology that the brander works in actually does work to grow a business.
Yeah, it's truly an investment, although that initial figure may appear scary. It really is an investment, and sometimes you have to take that leap to invest some money in order to make a much larger sum of money. But what it comes back to with hiring, and I say this quite often, is do your due diligence. Don't just hire somebody because they were referred by one person, or don't just hire somebody because you had a quick conversation and they kind of felt warm and fuzzy, but make sure that you're doing your due diligence and finding out the details.
Completely. And also, most people, which it's the reason why you're going to say yes, you're going to get a lower figure from a lot of branders out there. But they're not actually doing you a service in that lower figure, because they know moving forward, you're going to have all these add-ons. You need to make sure that whatever price they quote you is actually for the whole amount of the work you guys talked about, not just step one or step two, because in the end, you may get into this project and then you're going to feel stuck because you're like, crud, I've already said yes, I've come this far, but now I need to do X, and X is so much more than I ever expected. Make sure that the price you get is an all-inclusive price for everything you talked about, so there's no more extra added expenses to your bill. That is key. And also make sure that a brander works in a way in which your brand will holistically grow, because in today's society, we are evolving at a 4 to 6 month ratio. When I started doing branding 21 years ago, we evolved our brands every 6 to 8 years. And because of society and social media, we're at 4 to 6 months. You cannot be consistently working on your brand. Your website cannot be consistently under construction. Your logo cannot be consistently redone. Business cards cannot be consistently getting redesigned. You need to have a brand strategy that will organically grow and evolve with you and your audience. If they can't build that, then no one's ever going to come to your business.
Quick question for you though. What do you delegate?
A lot, actually. I delegate all the logistical stuff. So when it comes to the schedulings, the postings, all of that, I delegate. I have an entire design team that I delegate most of the work to. Sometimes I have to create it roughly for them to actually execute it, but I delegate that. And then I also delegate someone to manage all these pieces for me, because I have 12 completely different brands that all work for female entrepreneurs, but it's everything from production to publishing to branding. And so I have someone who manages and oversees it all. So that way I can just focus on the pieces I need to focus on and keep it all going.
Allie, if somebody's really interested in digging more into this and learning more about what this brand thing is and how to do it right, how do they connect with you?
Just go to alliecraig.com, and I'm at the Allie Craig on every social media platform out there.
And as always, we'll have those in the show notes. Make sure you tune into our next video coming up, because we got some more great tips on delegating this.